ثمراته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون.
ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه. عباد الله أحبتي الكرام, my young brothers, and come forward, come closer, inshallah. Come, I want to feel you here, closer. Don't be afraid, I don't bite, come on. Barakallahu feekum. حفتكم الملائكة. Before we start our seerah tonight, I just wanted to touch on a few points that are relevant. You guys have been all hearing the term Happy New Year's, wishing you a blessed New Year's, and New Year's this, and New Year's that, and New Year's everywhere you go. Whether it's the supermarket, the bank, wherever you go, all you hear is Happy New Year. What is the Muslim response in Ahl Sunnah al Jama'ah for Happy New Year's? Does anybody know? الله أحسنت في قولي أحسنت يا مالك. What is the best response?
What's the question?
If somebody says Happy New Year, what do you say?
No, you're not allowed to initiate it, but in some says you just say same to you or something like that. Sorry.
Same to you.
Or wish you the same.
Now, the greeting in Islam, is this an act of ibadah to greet someone?
Yes.
أحسنت. وما حكم العبادات في الشرع؟ توقيف. So we have an overarching law في الأصول. علماء الأصول, they state كل عبادة عليها حكم توقيف. Any act of worship عليها حكم توقيف, meaning it's perfected and it has parameters that you can't go over. You can't add or minus. صح. Any ibadah, whether it's tasbih, whether it's salah, whether it's siyam, it has specific rulings. So greeting is one of those. It's ibadah. And we were taught, subhanAllah, how to greet one another by the greatest greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So when you have people that are greeting you with a different sort of greeting, we have to look, what is the connotation, where is this strand from? What kind of greeting is this? Is this min muwafaqat al-qawm? Is it from the typical sort of lingo of the people of the times? Or is it relative or related to something religious? And this is where we have to find out. So if somebody says Merry Christmas, we know full well that's relative to a Christian belief, which is fake, absolutely, because Jesus was not born in December. He was born when, Ibrahim?
April.
He was born in April. He was born in spring. So we know that this is a lie. We don't even respond to it. And this also, if you respond to it, you're also acknowledging the shirk that they have taken with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when it comes to New Year's, the New Year it's based on the Gregorian calendar. The Jesuits priests of the old, they changed the calendar from the Julian calendar. Okay? The Julian calendar was a flawed calendar. It was missing months upon months. Okay? So the Jesuit priests, they're Catholic, they got together and they said, we're going to fine-tune this calendar so that way it fits with our Easter and our celebrations. Okay? And this is where we know from what has been historically cited, that it is a flawed calendar. And not only is it flawed, it is based on Catholic beliefs to suit their celebrations such as Easter and Passover. Okay? So for us to say Happy New Year's, we're actually acknowledging the Catholic priests and their initiative to sort of perfect the calendar, which is by every sense has been proven to be flawed and to be inaccurate. So if somebody says Happy New Year, you say thank you very much. to sum it all up. Okay? Because for you to say back, oh, wishing you a happy new year, you're acknowledging a false celebration, a false date, a false calendar, a false religion, a false so on. So I just say thank you very much. Okay? So we're not going to wish anyone a happy new year because subhanallah, and I was thinking about it today because everywhere I went, happy new year, happy new year. Yani, in a sense, they have this tafa'ul that it's going to be a happy new year. But subhanallah, from the azma that we are looking and we are living right now, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring peace to this world. But it's not going to be brought through wishful thinking or hopeful, best wishes. We need to strive and struggle to promote that which is good and forbid that which is evil. And it starts by simply this. You have a friend that believes in New Year's. They spark up the conversation with you, Happy New Year. You start that. And you tell them, what do you know? What do you know about this Gregorian calendar? What do you know about the history of this? Okay? Because we are a people of fact and faith. We're not just people of wishful thinking. We don't just go with the flow. We have usul thabita. We have deep roots. We're solid people. We're not just, the leaf on a windy day. Not just any, celebration comes and takes us. This is not from our etiquette. And a lot of people, hadahumullah, they will tell you that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to greet people the best greetings, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, and if you're greeted with a greeting, then return one that's even better, if not like it. Sah. These are all adillah. However, don't be mistaken. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam kana yuwafiq al-qawm. He used to speak to different people in their dialects. He used to mimic their clothes or their styles. However, that did not go against the shara. That did not go against the shara. I'll give you an example, okay? If you take the actions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they can be divided into 4 actions. A'mal, al-asl fi a'malihi tashri'a. Whatever he did sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the asl, the root is that it was a command, tashri'a. So it's shara. وَمَا ثَبَتَ فِي حَقِّهِ يَثْبُتُ فِي حَقِّ أُمَّتِهِ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ. And whatever he did sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we as his ummah should follow. Okay? That's the asl. The second is muwafaqat al-qawm. He did things to coincide with his people. Such as, I'll give you an example. You guys are going to be shocked. Why did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wear amama? The turban. Huh? The sun. Very good. Why? Why do you think? It's hot. The Bedouins, yeah? So if his people wore, those sombreros, he would have wore a sombrero. Yeah. Right? That's what he would have worn. So can we say that to wear amama is tashri'i? Is it part of the deen? Can we say it is a sunnah? You have to wear amama? No. See what I'm saying? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he built his house out of clay and straw. So is that tashri' or is that muwafiq al-qawm? Because his people used to build their houses out of clay and straw. He could have built a house out of glass, out of metal, but to coincide with his people, he built his house out of glass and straw. So no one's going to come to me nowadays and be like, I'm practicing the sunnah, I built the house out of clay and straw out here in 72nd and King George. What are you talking about? That's not the sunnah. That's called muwafaqat al-qawm. Although it is a sunnah, but the sunnah in that is to follow the people, as long as it doesn't go against the shara. See what I'm saying? So many people will tell you, no, he would have said Merry Christmas, or he would have said Happy New Year's, wal-'iyadu billah. But we know for a fact, if it goes against the shara, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never did it. He never wore gold. Why? Because it's against the shara. You understand? The other 2 actions, we said tashri', muwafaqat al-qawm, ikhtisas. A lot of his actions were specific to him. Can somebody give me an example of an action that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did that was only specific to him, no one else can do? Come on, you guys are men, you should know this. Yes.
Tahajjud was like...
Tahajjud was mandatory,
Yeah.
That's one, yes. Come on. More than 4 wives, yes.
Yeah.
More than 4 wives. And he could marry them without a wali because he was wali ummah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The last one, so we said تشريع, موافقة القوم, اختصاص, and جبلية. أعمال الجبلية, meaning innate nature. So no one can tell me right now that it is a sunnah to go to the bathroom. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to the bathroom. The sunnah is how to go to the bathroom. No one can tell me it's a sunnah to sleep. You're a human being, you have to sleep. It's a sunnah how to sleep, on your right with your palm on your cheek. You read your dua. That's the sunnah. So don't mix it up. Because we have a lot of people, these scholars for dollars and these YouTube sheikhs, they will come on and they'll tell you, oh, Rasulullah would have said Merry Christmas. He was a merry guy. He was a happy guy. Happy New Year, everyone. Ya ibadullah. Go back to the basics, the fundamentals, and you will know that our deen is set, it's done. You can't add or minus. Don't add or minus. Please, stick to the basics and you will be saved bi'idhnillah. One thing I noticed before we started today's halaqah, many of you stood up immediately after the wajib, Salat al-Isha, and began your sunnah. Did you know, والحديث لمعاوية مرفوع عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, that there's a nahi on this. There's a nahi. There's a warning against that. Because as soon as you finish the wajib, which is compulsory for Salat al-Isha, I know what you're thinking. I gotta pray Shafa and Witr before I forget, before I get lazy. Sah? Everyone does this. There's a nahi. And it comes from two directions. The nahi, the first one, Muawiyah radiallahu anhu warḍah, he saw a man from the tabi'is do this exact act. And he said, I warn you never to do that. Never to do this. Because they were praying Salat wajib, and then the man immediately after stood up and prayed the nafilah. He said, I warn you never to do that. For I heard the Messenger of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say never to do this. Why is that? Because the ulama said you should never tie between the wajib and the nafil. There should always be a break between them. So, you should always talk to your neighbor, say salam, tasbih, give it some time, check your watch. Not immediately after the wajib stand up and offer your nafilah. Never. You should always have a break, because if we were to mix the wajib and the nafilah becomes what? Wajib. And you see this in a lot of the brothers who practice in the Hanafi madhab. The Ahnaf, Harisin, they're very strict on the nafilah, which is good to be strict on the nafilah, but again it's a nafilah. Do not give it any other position but a nafilah. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam thabata anhu fi sahih, he said to the Sahaba, he said, لا تجعلوا بيوتكم مقابر كما قال. He says, do not leave your homes as graveyards. Meaning, don't pray everything in the mosque. Pray at home. وثبت عنه صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه كان يصلي النافلة في البيت. He used to pray his sunnah at home. So that's another thing. And one other thing. A couple of days ago, I was at the local masjid, and some brothers came late for the salah. As soon as they entered the salah, we were in ruku'. In order for them to catch the jama'ah, they said Allahu Akbar and they went immediately to ruku'. What do you guys think of that? This is very strict. Yes.
They have to wait till they're back to standing up to the next.
They have to wait until they come up from ruku'?
Yeah.
Why? No, because the rak'ah is determined by ruku'. So they wanted, كانوا يحبوا أن يدركوا الركعة مع الإمام. So the imam was in the ruku', they came in, they said Allahu Akbar, and they went straight to ruku'. What's wrong with this picture? Allahu Akbar, عندنا فقيه. They missed takbirat al-ihram. Takbirat al-ihram, what is it? A rukn, a wajib, what is it?
It's must.
It's wajib. You can't have salah without takbirat al-ihram. It's like entering a big meeting that you have with some big shot, and you walk in and you do this. Pretty lame, huh? You're entering salah. You're standing before al-Malik al-Dayyan, and you just throw your hands. No. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you guys have all read the book of Shaykh Al-Albani rahmatullah alayhi, where he said he used to make takbir al-ihram out loud. Huh? You remember the man who came to the masjid and he asked him, ارجع فصلي فإنك لم تصلي. He says, فكبر. فكبر. Many of us, we come, we just throw our hands and we just murmur. No. Takbirat al-ihram is out loud. Out loud. There's a khilaf bain al-ulama, but I'm telling you, the rajih is that it's out loud. فَكَبِّرْ فَقُلْ اللَّهُ أَكْبَرْ. And if you look at Shaykh Al-Albani's compilation and his commentary, every other takbirah that the imam does, you're supposed to do. Every other takbirah. فَمَا بَالِكْ تَكْبِيرَ الْإِحْرَامِ. But if you enter the salah and the imam is in the state of ruku' and you say Allahu Akbar and you went straight for ruku', that takbirah, was it takbirah al-ihram or was it takbirah al-ruku'? That's the question. So when you enter salah and you're late, you're supposed to say Allahu Akbar and then Allahu Akbar to go for ruku'. This is very critical. Very critical. Remember, again, we are a people that have a deen that is absolutely paved, perfect. There is nothing, no stone unturned. You can't have any doubt in this matter. And this is why, alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jal فَضَّلَنَا وَهَدَانَا لِذَلِكَ. He gave us the greatest guidance, which is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the greatest word, the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Al-Quran Al-Kareem. And ونكتفي بذلك. ومع ذلك حف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بالصحابة الكرام رضوان الله عليهم. He surrounded Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the Sahaba who were the blessed companions who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala من فوق سبع سماوات رضى عنهم. He was pleased with them. وكانوا مبشرين بالجنة. يعني we can't let this slide, okay? Please.